everyone. I finally sat down and watched every movie in the Halloween franchise, and boy, were there a lot of them. Some of them are just a rehash of things that were already done, and others went in a completely new and creative direction. So, if you're new here, welcome. This is primarily a survival horror gaming channel, and most of my content focuses on Dead by Daylight. And since Michael Myers is a licensed killer in that game, I just like to branch out and just explore the character. Alright, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this Halloween tier list. The first movie is a timeless classic. It is very slow at the beginning. Myers escapes the sanatorium and he is driving around town. I don't know how he gets there because he's been locked away since he was 6 years old. But for some reason, he just knows how to drive 150 miles all the way to Haddonfield. In these movies, you're just gonna have to escape from that whole realism and just enjoy the movie for what it is. Because there's just no way Myers would be able to do that. Even Dr. Loomis is like, I don't even know, maybe someone taught him in prison and the sanitarium. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those plot holes, so it's whatever. But the pacing is great. Michael Myers is lurking in the shadows, and you could see him off in the distance, and he's kind of like, where's Waldo? You have no idea where he is. Oh, he's right there. Anyways, it's a great movie. It slowly builds up until Halloween night, until Myers actually goes and attacks everybody. And it's really good. It's very iconic. And I'm going to rate this as an S rated movie. Alright, next up we have Halloween 2. It's very similar to the first one. Most of the characters are pretty static, but this time the main protagonist, Laurie Strode, doesn't even speak that much in the movie. Most of the lines are carried out by all the side characters. We have probably the most silliest, horny paramedic scenes in a movie ever. Anyways, there's only like a couple of nurses in that hospital, and Laurie Strode's taken there. There isn't much plot that matters at all to the movie. It doesn't really bring anything interesting about who Michael Myers is or anything else when it comes to the hospital scenes. But Dr. Loomis does find at the school something about Samhain, which is supposed to connect Michael Myers to some sort of Celtic evil festival that happens once a year. I have no idea. It's not something I'm really have a good understanding of. But they try to connect it to Myers in some way. I wasn't sure how. Anyways, Loomis just starts spouting his nonsense. And we do learn from his assistant that Laurie Strode is related to Michael Myers, which was a big shock when I first saw it. So it does bring some interesting things to the movie, interesting new plot lines to the movie, and new character development, and expands the lore. But other than that, I mean, great Michael Myers moments, of course, just like the first one. But for most of the movie, a lot of the characters are not really doing much. So I kind of put this in A. Alright, Halloween 3. When I first started watching this movie, I was so confused. I had no idea what was going on. And I still don't know what was really going on. But it was very creative and original. I've never seen a horror movie like it. So basically, there is an Irish witchcraft that's going on who's creating robots, and he's using the power of Stonehenge to do it. So yeah, Stonehenge is some sort of dark energy, I don't know, power plant. I have no idea. Anyways, there's also some sort of witchcraft with the advertisement that somehow insects and everything crawl out of their mouths. It's so weird. It's so strange, but I love it. I love that it's something different. I'm going to place this in the S tier because those robots were pretty freaky at the end. And The climax of the movie where the girl turns on him, pretty epic. So yeah, I'm gonna put this in S tier. Let's move on to Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers. This one is a little bit confusing just because some of the new characters are introduced and we don't understand what's really going on. For instance, Laurie Strode dies in an accident off screen, and we don't even know really much about it. I think maybe some side characters mention a little bit here and there, but it's a little bit confusing to me. So, Jamie Lloyd is the daughter of Laurie Strode. Yeah, I got that right. Anyways, and she's being raised by a new family. That's basically the story. So, yeah, if you were confused, so was I. And the story is kind of a traditional Michael Myers movie, you know. He's stalking in the distance, and there's basically a climax towards the end, and the whole town tries to fight him. And we have people at the bar going out looking for him. Basically, even teenagers have guns. Everyone has guns. So yeah, it's just a full shootout against him. And most of the movie is pretty bland to me, but I think the ending is where it redeems itself. We did not expect Jamie to be cursed by Michael Myers and to attack. So it's a really good ending, and in that way, it kind of redeems itself in my eyes. So I'm going to put it in B. I'm going to put it in B. Next up, we have Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. This one, Loomis is kind of crazy in this one. He keeps shaking Jamie around. Where is he? Where is he? And Jamie somehow has psychic abilities and knows exactly where Michael Myers is. So I don't know why she isn't talking or she's just traumatized. I don't know. I don't even know why Loomis hasn't been arrested by now. So it was a little bit confusing to me, the whole plot line. But I did enjoy the mystery of the unknown person. You know, it's only like a black suit and his black boots walking around, and we don't know who this person is. He breaks Michael Myers out, even though Loomis was able to take him out. So it was a little strange, but I enjoy a little mystery in my movies. I'm gonna place this one in B tier. So next up we have Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. This one decided to do something very different and try to explain why Michael Myers is the way that he is, other than just he's evil, he's inhuman, just like Loomis rambling on about it's evil, and why is it evil? We don't know. So this time we're kind of revisiting the Celtic festival of Hansam. I probably butchered the name, whatever. Anyways, there is a story that they came up with the Curse of the Thorn or something. And anyone who's marked with thorn becomes evil. So it's some sort of druid magic is the reason why Michael Myers is evil. And I don't hate it exactly, but some of the cultist things that they were doing early on are kind of eh. I didn't really enjoy it. But I don't hate it completely, but it's kind of weird, you know? It definitely took the agency away from Michael Myers and made it into this curse. So either you love it or hate it. I'm gonna put this one in C tier because it's kind of a mixed bag. It's weird. I do kind of enjoy the fact that Loomis becomes the thing that he hates. He has to be the new agent that controls the curse instead of vanquishing it. So I thought it was a twist. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just kind of in C tier. Alright, Halloween H2O 20 years later. This movie was done pretty good. I actually really enjoyed the characters. The actor who plays the son does a really good job of portraying his life as basically living in fear and not enjoying life at all, and never celebrating any Halloween parties in his entire life. So his mom, Laurie Strode, is basically living in fear and it hurts everyone in her life. And that's why she's kind of a drunk. But she also is trying to learn from her mistakes and tries to grow throughout the movie. And I really enjoy that. Some of the plot is basically the same rehashed story. Michael Myers is waiting until Halloween night and he's after her son for some reason because he turned 17 and that's the reason why he's attacking because he's 17. I didn't really understand that plot line at all. I figured he's just attacking people because they are in his family, but for whatever reason 17 matters. So some of the plot doesn't make any sense to me. We have a really cool fight scene towards the end. So yeah, people love this movie because Laurie Strode does fight Michael Myers at the end, and it's a really good finale. I will say I did not like the music composition for this movie. I didn't think it fit. It sounds really weird. Other than that, I still think it belongs in the A tier. It is a good movie. Now on to Halloween Resurrections. They tried to turn the Halloween franchise into a reality television show where they have cameras live and they sneak into the Michael Myers mansion to make a show about it. And the reason why people did this is because some other horror movies during the time, like the Blair Witch Project, were very successful. So, of course, someone else decided they wanted to try this out. And it's not all bad, but the parts that are bad are really, really bad. Like, the producer is using kung fu against Michael Myers, electrocutes his balls, and that's how they defeat Michael Myers. It's really strange. So I'd say, I hate to say this because it is my generation that I grew up with, but I'm going to put this in D tier because it doesn't feel like a Halloween movie. It is strange, but there are a few good moments in this movie, so I think it's still worth seeing. Next up, we have Rob Zombie's version of Halloween. He's a lot more visceral, brutal, and psychological. And all of his characters are very, very unpleasant. I couldn't believe it. Everyone is just, oh my gosh, over the top. You don't like anybody in this movie. So it's hard to relate to anybody at all. So it's an interesting take to Halloween. I would say that it does build on Michael Myers' story. We have a beginning to him. We go into his early childhood, what made him the way he was. And I really appreciate that over Loomis constantly saying, it's evil, and not really explaining anything about the character at all. And Michael Myers is always very static, but not in this movie. We get his early childhood, we get a little bit about him. So for me, this movie kind of enters the B tier for me just because it develops the story a little bit more and he does a pretty decent job at it. There's a few moments that are a rehash of the previous movies, especially the first one. So take that as you will. I don't think it's that bad. It's just kind of for the fans. So, anyways, it goes in the B tier for me. Alright, next up we have Rob Zombie's second Halloween movie, and this one just becomes more and more unpleasant. We have some of the worst paramedics in history talking about sleeping with the dead. Like, seriously. And the same actor, I believe, is in Doom, the movie, and he acts the same way. I really wish this actor would play as a different person because every time I watch him in any movie, he is unpleasant, whether it's Con Air, Doom, or whatever it is. And in this movie, he's really, really unpleasant. I don't really want to listen to him. And then we have Laurie Strode, and she learns that she is the sister of Michael Myers. She hates everyone. She's having a hard time. And she's just a screeching all the time. I hated it. I hated it so much. There's some really cool Michael Myers moments, but it's also takes gruesome to the 10th degree. So it's hard to like. There's no one in the movie that you like, and maybe her stepsister is a little more pleasant, and the sheriff, he's adopted Lori and he's trying to take care of her, but everything else is it's a little over the top, and I don't like it. And the whole symbolism with the white horse and all this other stuff, it's a little artistic in a way that it doesn't really make any sense. And at the end, Laurie Strode turns evil and becomes the new, I don't know, takes in the curse of Michael Myers, and then she dies. And that's the end of the movie. So this one, I think it goes into D tier. I did not like it. I think it's one of the weakest ones in the franchise. Alright, next up we have Halloween 2018. So one of the newest movies in the franchise. There's a whole series to it. And I thought this movie was done really, really well for the most part. It returns back to its roots, and it does a really good job portraying Michael Myers as a scary person. So in this movie, I really enjoyed certain scenes, especially the escape of Michael Myers at the bus crash was done really, really well. And there's some other memorable moments, especially him going through the street on Lapkin Lane, I think it is. I think I said it right. Yeah, Lapkin Lane. Anyways, he is a force of nature when he goes through there. Now, the reason why I'm putting this lower than A tier is because this movie is really, really flawed. Because there's female protagonists, for some reason had to dumb down the men really, really bad. I mean, today we call it woke, but whatever. It's the same thing. For whatever reason, the father says, I got peanut butter on my privates. I'm not going to say the word, but anyways, he says some dumb lines. And then even later, when he's supposed to be watching the camera just in case Michael Myers shows up at the house, because he's looking for him. He's playing with the yo-yo. Why? Why are people doing this? It's just bad movie production. They don't even know how to make a male character. I don't know. It's just so bad that it's just cringe level is up to 100 when I was watching it. I hated it so much. I did like the twist with Dr. Loomis. It kind of ties in with the curse of Michael Myers, even though, according to this series, that movie is no longer lore accurate anymore. And the movies that are lore, I think it's just only one and two. And then this movie, which is kind of a shame, but I get it. I mean, it's different producers. Whoever owns the copyright owns whatever is lore. So yeah, I did like the twist of Dr. Loomis that he wants to be like Michael Myers and is kind of curious and then turns evil and does all these things. So, and that he was the reason why Michael Myers is after Lord Strode, that he kind of pushed him that way. So it is very interesting. I'm going to put this in B tier because it's really, really flawed. They definitely failed flat on some of the character development and the side characters, and it does ruin the movie for me. Coming in next, we have Halloween Kills. It's a pretty decent movie, and it goes in a completely different direction from the others in the franchise. They actually explore the idea of the curse of Michael Myers, not spreading to one person, but spreading to the whole town. Once the whole town is panicked and scared, they turn into a mob and start rioting like crazy. It's been done multiple times in other franchises. You just think of Frankenstein or any other classic horror. And the people going nuts and crazy and accidentally killing innocent people happens all the time. So I actually really appreciate this movie for doing that. I wish they took it a little bit further than they did. at the end, Michael Myers just takes out basically almost a quarter of the town, it seems. It's a little insane, but I still appreciate it. That's why it's gonna go into the B tier. Lastly, we have Halloween Ends. This movie is completely different from all the other movies in the franchise, and I do appreciate originality, taking the movie in different directions and trying something different. I wish they just took it a little bit further and tried to explain it just a little bit. I love mystery, but too much mystery and not understanding the movie is kind of its flaw, in my opinion. So, in this movie, the main protagonist is not Michael Myers, it is Corey, who accidentally kills someone when he was babysitting. And so, the whole town bullies him, and he's kind of depressed and hates the town and becomes a little more evil as the movie progresses. And these band bullies attack him too and throw him off this bridge. And then I guess that puts him over the edge. I'm not sure. Because he seems to be completely in control. And when he runs into Michael Myers, I guess he stares at him and he is more susceptible to the curse. I'm not quite sure. You see, a lot of this is not explained verbally, it's just shown. And some of the plot just doesn't make a whole lot of sense because we have someone loving him and really caring about him. So you think he'd have a little more resolve against evil, but for whatever reason he doesn't. And he becomes the apprentice basically of Michael Myers. So I think the actor does an excellent job, but plot wise, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Nothing is explained. We don't really understand what is going on. I think that's where the movie kind of fails a little bit. So there's a little bit of issues with it. So I don't hate it. It's more of a mixed bag to me because some of the film does it right. So I'm going to put it in the C tier. It's not the worst Halloween movie in the franchise. And it kind of goes to Resurrections and Halloween 2 from Rob Zombie. So that's it. What do you guys think? Did I do this right? Let me know down in the comment section down below.